Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I am Yavin, the founder and CEO of Cointelligence. At Cointelligence, we do data research and analysis for the crypto economy, mainly ICOs, STOs, coins, and exchanges. Before I start the presentation, I would like to tell you about myself, and the reason it's important is that I am criticizing many companies, many founders out there, and the reason that I am allowing myself to criticize is because I have almost 10 years of experience as an angel investor. I was also an advisor for a few startups. I know what it takes to be an advisor to startups, and I know that it takes even much more to be an advisor for a crypto startup. Now, what I'm about to show you before we dive into the due diligence process that we at Cointelligence are doing, I will actually show you real examples of scams that we found, and I will explain to you about the situation in the market as it has been for the last year, and it might be moving forward as well. And I have two clear messages to you. One is, even though I am going to be very negative, I have to tell you that I decided to shift all of my focus in life to crypto and blockchain about a year ago, and I plan to continue this way. And I think the blockchain and crypto is definitely the biggest revolution that we ever saw, and I'm very well aware of AI, big data, autonomous vehicles, and so on and more, but I think the blockchain and crypto is going to affect everyone's life. It is already affecting many, many people's lives. And I am saying everyone should take a part of it in any way, as a professional or as a hobby, because crypto is not going to go away. ICOs are not going to go away. We are at a crisis right now, if you want to call it a crisis. Some are saying crypto winter, and so on. Some are saying ICOs are shifting to STOs, and so on. But I am telling you that I am sure that ICOs are here to stay. And the only reason for it is because it allows the public something that was not there. We did have crowdfunding before, and we did have crowdfunding for many years, but we didn't have what we are able to do with the blockchain technology. Now, I'll just start with saying that due diligence is so important right now, especially after many out there lost their trust in the crypto space because of everything that's been going on, and the governments are not really helping too much because most of them are against it. Even if they didn't ban it, they are not so happy to cooperate with the technology that they are afraid of. And a lot of people are saying that it's meant for money laundering and terror. I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. I'm saying that the way that I see it, cash is a much bigger problem. Now, I'll just dive in and show you a few examples. So we have different kinds of scams in the industry, the way that we see it. And it's very important for me to explain to you that there are people that are saying that if it's not stealing money, actually stealing money from the public on the spot, it's not a scam. But I look at it differently. First, you have individuals that are launching a website, trying to steal the public's money. It's a fake website, it's a fake team, and so on. Next, you have the people that are involved in the industry, such as ICOs founders. because they are lying about different things. One, their past experience. Two, they are lying about the money that they raised. We found a few times already, and I'm sure that it's happened much more than that founders lied, they said that they raised $10 million while they didn't even raise $1 million, and so on. The third kind of scammers is the ICO rating websites, the people that are doing YouTube interviews, YouTubers and influencers, and many others, because they enable scams. And I will show a very good example of it that will be pretty shocking to everyone. Now, we noticed the situation with the industry at Cointelligence about 8-9 months ago. And we decided that we're shifting our focus from researching the different coins and exchanges to ICOs for one reason, because we couldn't find even one rating website that is not accepting bribes for rating. Yes, you heard me right. There are more than 100 rating websites that I'm familiar with. I don't know about one of them, except for Cointelligence, that do not accept bribes, do not accept payments for rating. Now, for me, to accept money for rating is exactly like you would go to court and pay the judge for the ruling. So that's why we decided that we want to establish an impartial, independent rating system, and we have 3 levels of quality control. One is the raters are anonymous. Nobody knows who the raters are. Also, the raters cannot choose the ICOs or STOs that they are rating. They have to get the assignments from the head of research. The second quality control is a supervisor supervising these raters, and the third part is the head of research. Now, they are working with a template, and they have to follow the template in order to do the rating. Of course, every company has its own uniqueness, and there are small adjustments, but it's a basic template that we developed, and we improve it and change it on a monthly basis, obviously, because the market keeps changing a lot. Now, let's see the first example of a scam and the big problem at the industry. So we found that XSEARCH was a scam 1,000%. There is no doubt about that. When you went on Wiser ICO website, which is a rating website, you see that they got a 3.45 votes, and that's 3.4 out of 5. The next website, ICO Holder, gave them a 4 out of 5. Very positive. When an investor sees this, he says to himself, okay, maybe this is a good company that I should invest in. And the list goes on. Another example, and another example. And this is the rating on Cointelligence. 0, because it's a scam. And we explain why it's a scam. Every time we find a scam and we list a scam on Cointelligence, we explain why we found it as a scam. The second example, Initiative Q, one of the biggest, excuse my language, bullshit companies that I've seen in the last year. They have nothing, 0. They have a landing page, a simple website calling out the entire world, and I know that they got already more than almost 2 million registered people that registered that email, and everyone keeps saying, okay, what do I care? I'll give my email. I don't need to give out money now, but that's wrong, because everyone already knows today that data and our data is much more important than money sometimes. The second thing that the public doesn't understand is that you go on the website of Initiative Q, you are being flagged by the pixels on the website, which means that no matter where you go online, whenever they start their next marketing campaigns, you will be targeted. And unless you go again on the website and do the action that they will want you to do, they will continue to chase you for a long time. Udi Wertheimer is one of the most well-known Bitcoin developers or blockchain developers in the world. Don't count on what I'm saying. Look at what he's saying. He publicly wrote that the claims are preposterous, and the company says, we are the next Bitcoin, $2 trillion US, based on what? They didn't even develop, they don't even have one developer. They have nothing. And I see articles popping up around the web with the titles, Initiative Q, the next Bitcoin. CNBC, yes, you are seeing right. CNBC, the TV show, is enabling scammers. Ron, the host, is looking at the CTO of the company while she's claiming that she compressed a file from 90 megabytes to 472K. I consulted myself personally, not my team, myself, with 12 different CTOs. 4 of them are compression experts. They all said the same thing. This is not real, period. And the worst part about it is that when she finished showing him that on the show, he said, shut up and take my money. That's one of the worst things that I can even think about, because people watching the show will go and invest in them. The problem with the corrupted ICO advisors. The reason that I told you about my personal past experience as an advisor is because I know what you need to do in order to be an advisor. I know what it is that you have to do if you want to give out someone to use your name and put your name on their website. When we approached one of the ICOs that we investigated and we asked the advisors, these are answers that we got. Hello, I am not core team member and did not learn about past experience of CTO. How can you allow yourself to be put on their website if you don't know the team? And the biggest problem is that this specific advisor, or should I say advisor, is shown on more than 50 websites, 50. I don't know, maybe he has more hours in the day, or maybe he just made copies of himself, because it's not possible to advise so many companies. I'll tell you what happened. He just got 5 Bitcoin for each time they put his picture on the website, and that's how he became the advisor. And we have another example of another advisor that is responding in a similar way. Now, after I showed you examples of scams, and obviously the list goes on and on, I'll explain how we do our research, how we do our due diligence. So what we check is data integrity, vision, team identification, product, legal entity, social engagement, and marketing. Each of these categories have a dozen of subcategories that we analyze and research. This shows us the average score of ICOs after we rated 110 ICOs. And I'm reminding you, when we rate an ICO, we actually do in-depth due diligence. Not like when you see on other websites that they rated thousands of companies. I don't know how they do it. Probably they have thousands of team members or something like that. But that's the average score that we found. This part is very important. The integrity part shows the key failure reasons. 1, competitor analysis. Again, I told you before about my experience as an angel investor and an advisor. It's unacceptable that a company does not do a competitor analysis, and I'm talking about a serious one. And it doesn't matter if it's crypto and blockchain and it's all new. Still, there are companies, because a lot of companies want to compete with other companies that do not have blockchain technology, and some of them even want to compete with the big 500 Fortune companies, and they don't even spend the time to do proper competitor analysis. As you can see, 30% of the rated ICOs. Duplicated content. We developed a unique technology that allows us to scan every website and every PDF file and compare it to other sources online. And we use that technology in order to check if the white paper or parts of the white paper were copied from other sources. We were shocked to see that 10% had copied content. Now, just so you know, whenever we see copied content, it's a first sign for a scam. It doesn't always mean that it's a scam, but it's a first sign of a scam, and whenever we see that, we start investigating deeper. Misleading information. As I mentioned before, 5% of the ICOs present outdated information on their website, which includes roadmaps, wrong rating scores from other websites, sale information, and more. Now, I will have to finish now, but I just want to go over the team slide very, very quickly. The biggest problems that we had and saw was that the team doesn't have an industry-specific team member or advisor. We saw inexperienced CTOs. We saw that they don't have a development team, and obviously now maybe it will be less relevant because now we're not in 2017, and now you cannot raise 100 million because you are two founders and a nice white paper. It doesn't work anymore, but still, the development teams are not as good as the ICOs claim sometimes. I'll have to pass on that. By the way, if you want to see the full report that we generated for these 110 ICOs, you can just go on the website cointelligence.com, and you can see the full report there, because I really have to finish now. And I will just say again that I am all into crypto and blockchain. It's the biggest revolution that we had. We are not even at the diapers phase now. We are pre-diaper phase, and it's going to be great, but right now, don't believe anyone. Don't believe your friends, your family, because, not because they're not trusted, because they will listen to a TV show like CNBC and recommend you to invest in a scam. So be very careful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, we have some time for questions for On. So any questions, any concerns on the evidence provided by On?
Hi. Could you tell us, please, your sources? Your sources, I mean, how do you live?
My sources regarding what, sorry?
Regarding money. How do you live?
How it's the operations are funded?
Yep.
Oh, that's a great question. Everything is being self-funded by me. As I mentioned before, I used to be an angel investor. When I started Cointelligence, I decided that I'm not going to invest in anything anymore until the time that Cointelligence becomes profitable. And obviously, we will never charge for rating, but we will charge for premium listing or for advertisements on the website, if it's banners, if it's content, and so on. But we will never, never agree to increase a rating. And we did get a few, I would even say a dozen requests to pay us for advertising, but the company said, I'm not going to pay you if my rating is 4 out of 10. So our response is, we're very sorry. The only reason that will make us change the rating is if you will prove that you actually improved. And we are very happy to always give the full list of everything that the founders will be able to work and improve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Do you take into account the legal issues regarding the ICOs that you evaluate?
You're talking about legal actions that they can take towards...
No. I mean, if they're legal in terms of how they're doing their ICO, do you take that into account in your rating?
That's a great question. Actually, until now, we didn't include anything with regards to legal, beside the part that we are investigating if there is a real entity. And a registered entity is not enough for us, because everyone knows that you can register your entity very, very quickly. Today, in 2018, we check it more in depth, but that's the only thing that we're checking. And it's a great question, because actually we started collaborating with lawyers recently, because if I will need to fund that as well, that's it. That's too much already. and we started collaborating with lawyers to help us start doing the reviews, but we separated from the general score that we do ourselves to make sure that everyone is aware of it.
Okay. Just one more, yeah. That's the last one.
How do you choose the projects that you rate? Do they come to you? And secondly, once you rate them, do you give them feedback in order to fix certain things, and do you ever re-rate them?
So we choose the projects in a very random way. As I mentioned before, the only person that is able to choose the projects is the head of research. He has to get my approval once he chose them. And on top of that, when they approach us for rating, it depends if they go into the pool of the, let's say that we roll out from, let's say, 100, and we choose 10 out of them or 20 out of them for the specific month. And we will never rate because someone approached us, because we want to make it very random.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ant.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.